after all these religions, I started looking into Islam, and then everything started going together. So I saw everyone was equal. Like when everyone's praying, like anyone can like be the leader as long as they know more Qur'an. Like the janitor could lead behind like multimillionaires, for example. And there's just equality. Like race doesn't matter. Like your previous sins don't matter. And also, I started looking further into the Qur'an. I started reading the Qur'an, and everything made sense. I didn't see any contradictions. So I started looking into other religions like around age 11-ish. And so the first one I came around was Judaism, because I had Jewish friends. So a lot of things in Judaism made sense, but the main thing is that it is an ethno-religion. So even if a non-Jewish person wants to become Jewish, they would still be treated as a second-class Jew. So I ruled that out because nobody wants to be second class. And then I looked into Buddhism, but they don't believe in a god. And then that was the same with other religions as well, like similar ones. And then I looked more into Christianity just to see if my faith was true. And I looked deep into it for the next year or so. And I realized there was some major flaws, such as the Trinity. That was the main one.
Right, because for you, what is it that doesn't make sense out of the Trinity?
Yeah.
That there is 3, correct?
Yes.
And yeah, so it was, so you started, so that's where you pivot and you started to look.
Yes.
Okay. Well, what made you really like hone into Islam?
So then after all these religions, I started looking into Islam, and then everything started going together. And so I saw everyone was equal. Like when everyone's praying, like anyone can like be the leader as long as they know more Qur'an. Like the janitor could lead behind like multimillionaires, for example. And there's just equality. Like race doesn't matter. Like your previous sins don't matter. And also, I started looking further into the Qur'an. I started reading the Qur'an, and everything made sense. I didn't see any contradictions. And then whenever I did have a question, it was answered very quickly, unlike the questions I had with other religions. So that's when I started looking very deep into it around age 12. And so over the time, like over the past few months, when 12, then I turned 13, over time, I was listening to scholars, reading books, researching online. And then over the past few months, during that time, I realized Islam was the truth. I had no doubt about it. And then I went to the Masjid. I finally managed to convince my parents after like 2 weeks or so. They were a little skeptic about it, but eventually they let me go. And then that day
So how did you convince them? This is really interesting.
Because I said, it'll be all right. It's not too big of a change, I told them. Because we both believe in the same God. We believe in the prophets, etc., etc. And so then they were like, okay, you can. And then that's the day I went to the Masjid and I took my shahada.
SubhanAllah. That's amazing. And so I hear now that your grandmother is like considering, or anybody else, like your family?
Yeah,
so your grandmother
she's interested in it. Yeah, she would like to learn more.
It's amazing. Amazing. I hope you inspire so many other people. I really see you as potentially like a scholar, just because, I mean, I'm so impressed by the way your knowledge, and not just your knowledge, but I mean, you're already using a lot of terms. Have you already started to learn how to read? Like, what is your extent of your knowledge right now? Because I feel like you know so much.
Yeah. So yeah, I've started to learn Arabic a little bit. I'm not too good on it, but yeah, over time I'll be slowly learning it. But I've also been going very deep into fiqh as well. That's the main thing.
Well, maybe even become a scholar. Do you have any wish to potentially
eventually
like
I
teach?
do plan
like
on
are you kind of a teacher?
Yeah,
or, like,
of course, yeah.
Oh, it's amazing.
I've been teaching my friends, and they've been learning, and I've already convinced a few people to turn to Islam before.
Have you really?
Yes.
So you've actually helped people come to Islam already. Like how many people?
So far, at least 3 or 4.
SubhanAllah. It's like you continue to amaze me. So SubhanAllah.